guys, it's Alyssa, the Senior Aquarist here at the South Florida Science Center and Aquarium, and today I want to introduce you to one of our non-marine animals. This is Jane. She is our juvenile ball python. She's a little shy. She's kind of hiding right now, so we're actually going to see if we can move her into another kind of container so you guys can see her a little bit better. As you guys can maybe guess why, ball pythons get their name because when they're feeling shy or a little bit nervous, like Jane is here, she will curl herself up into a ball and kind of even protect her head. She will actually cover her head with her body because it's the most vulnerable point on her, so it makes her feel a little bit more safe, a little bit more secure. So hopefully you can see her a little bit better now. She'll probably start to move around a little bit. Another name for the ball python is actually the royal python, and they get that name because back in the day, ancient ancestry and ancient royal people would actually adorn themselves and literally wear live snakes as basically jewelry. They would ironically wrap these snakes around their arms or even their neck. And I say ironically because these guys are non-venomous constrictor snakes. So they kill their prey by constricting or squeezing their prey. So I'm pretty sure ancient royalty was probably hoping that they had a really good care team for their jewelry and was hoping that their necklace was well fed before they decided to wear it for the night. These guys are excellent hunters. I don't know if you can see on Jane, these little pits or these little holes kind of right around her mouth are actually heat sensors. So she can sense really small differences in temperature. She can actually sense the body heat of her prey, probably even better than she can see it. So these guys are really good nocturnal hunters. She can hunt strictly with that heat sensing and even with her sense of smell. And the size of the prey does depend upon the size of the snake. These ball pythons do tend to be a little bit smaller than some of the other pythons out there. Ball pythons, the females tend to be a little bit larger, so eventually Jane could be 5, maybe 6 feet. And they are quite long-lived creatures as well, especially in captivity. When they're given proper care, they can live to around maybe 30 years. I think the largest or the longest on record was like almost 50 years old, so definitely a very long-lived pet if you decide to get one. They are not native to Florida. I don't believe we have any native species of python here in Florida. We have some invasive ones, but none of them are native. We do have quite a few native species of snakes in Florida. It's right around 50 different species, but thankfully, literally only 6 of them are venomous, so we don't have it too bad in Florida. And even better, actually, half of those venomous species are rattlesnakes. So you're gonna be able to hear that snake before you even see it. So you can just walk in the other direction. Those species of venomous rattlesnakes that we have here in Florida include the eastern diamondback rattlesnake, the timber rattlesnake, and the pygmy rattlesnake. And then the other 3 venomous snakes that we have here in Florida is the copperhead, the cottonmouth, which is also sometimes called a water moccasin, and then the coral snake. And even better, if you're local here in Florida, you're probably maybe only gonna encounter 4 of those species since our climate is a bit different than the northern Florida states. So probably only gonna see maybe the eastern diamondback rattler. You're maybe gonna see the coral snake, maybe the pygmy rattler, and probably the cottonmouth. And honestly, I'm born and raised in the South Florida region and outside a lot. Never really seen very many venomous snakes. I have heard a rattlesnake, but I've never really stuck around to figure out what kind it was. I've seen a cottonmouth a handful of times and a coral snake maybe once or twice. And honestly, the coral snake does get confused a lot with another non-venomous, completely harmless snake called the king snake. And that's just because they have very similar patterns. So both the coral snake and the king snake are gonna have red, black and yellow kind of bandings or stripes on them. Thankfully, there's kind of like this little saying or this little rhyme that you can say to help remember the difference between the two. So the venomous coral snake is going to have a red band next to a yellow band. So the saying is red next to yellow kills a fellow. And the non-venomous king snake is going to have a red band next to a black band. So it's red next to black is a friend of Jack. That being said, I know a lot of people are scared of snakes, which is understandable. I was a bit wary of them too when I was younger. It wasn't until I was working at a place that kind of got thrown into working with snakes that I was a bit more comfortable with them. Now I have a healthy respect for them. There's Jane moving around a little bit more. So if you ever do see a snake maybe in the wilderness or you come across one in your yard, I definitely don't recommend killing it. First of all, if it is venomous, you could be in pretty big trouble. And second of all, I really don't commend or recommend killing any animal just because you're scared of it. We actually did that with sharks a number of years ago and it was detrimental to their population. And snakes really can be an important part of our ecosystem. They're actually great if you have them kind of around your house if you don't like pests, things like rodents. They're really good at controlling like rat populations, mice populations, things you probably don't want crawling around in your attic. And they're even known to eat some of those curly-tailed lizards that are literally everywhere, that are always trying to get into your patios and into your garages. So they can be a benefit to people, but I'm glad you guys got to meet Jane. She's out and about a little bit more. Hope maybe you learned something about snakes today, and we hope to see you soon at the South Florida Science Center and Aquarium. Bye.
Hey guys, just want to thank you guys for watching our content. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you hit that like button down below. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe. That way you're up to date on all the really cool science experiments that we're going to be bringing your way. Now, if you haven't heard, we have some really big announcements. Our doors are partially reopened. We have some really cool exhibits that you guys can check out, bring in your families, bring in your kids, and enjoy some of the things about the Science Center that you've come to love. Now, we are taking some very special safety precautions, so please make sure you check our website for the latest updates on that. We thank you for sticking with us throughout this entire endeavor and helping us continue our mission to open every mind to science.